Yellow. How are we doing? Oh my goodness. What am I gonna do today, boys? Honestly, I'm not. Also, I fear, before we get into it, I fear I need to talk about why I'm not gaming today. Here's the whole rundown of everything. Because I'm pretty sure I overheated, was starving, and was dehydrated. But we'll get there when we get there. Speaking of dehydrated, what's up, crayons? Not saying that you're dehydrated, I just meant like I need to grab my water. Sorry, that was awkward. Awkward timing. Oh. Oh, how are you, crayons? Now, here's the whole rundown. So, I started the day as every other day. I get to work. I actually got to work a little later than normal, 9:30. But I thought it wouldn't have been that big of a deal because it's grout day. If y'all don't know what grout is, grout goes in between laid tile so no water can get through. Grout is essentially a hard rock after it dries. And so I was all like, all right, it's grout day. It's not going to be too much work depending on how we do it. And there's a specific way I like to lay grout. Because usually I'm the one who lays it. Like I'm actually mixing the grout and putting it into the tile. Because, foreshadowing, if you let grout sit out too long, it dries. And it becomes very hard to clean up. So you have to put it in and then clean it up. You know, usually usually how that goes. Hold on. Let me just, this is grout. For those who don't know, grout fills in the cracks of tile whenever you lay tile. And you see this residue on the outside of it? You need to clean that up, because if you don't, it sticks onto the tile. And it's very hard to clean up if you just let it sit there. And the worst part is whenever it gets dried in tile that has a lot of texture on it. Like your non-stick tile. Not non-stick. Your non-slip tile. That has like perforations on it. Has little grooves on it. But anyways. So I get there and my dad's all like, go ahead and clean up the second floor so that way you can start grouting, because there was a part of the house that we still needed a tile, but it was gonna take like 5 minutes. So I start cleaning, and here's the problem. With all the mortar that was in the grooves and everything, it was a little difficult to clean. Took a little longer than what I wanted, but you know, I got it done. And there are 3 sections to this second floor that we're doing. There's one section, all sections are walled off, by the way. There's one section has nothing in it. The second section has a shower in it. And then the last section has nothing in it. But I get done cleaning it up, so I'm like, okay, we're gonna start on the floor in the first section. Wrong. Not how I would have done it. Well, that's how I would have done it. But my dad just goes up there. I'm guessing he finishes his tile work. And then he's all like, all right, time to mix this grout. And I'm like, oh, we're going. Mind you, I'm not even like fully done cleaning the upstairs room. Or the last section of the room. And I'm still there cleaning. And then I just hear my dad go, come clean this wall. Mind you, some of it has already like sort of dried. So then I'm like, well, shit. I need to start cleaning fast. And you might be thinking, all right, you know, it's grout. How do you clean grout? You clean grout by literally just having a wet sponge. Because it's still supposed to look like this, very wet, and your wet sponge is literally, it pushes the grout that's in the cracks down to secure it in place, and then whatever's not in the cracks will just get wiped off. That's if it is not dried. If grout is dried, your sponge won't do shit. And you have to actually put force into it and just scrub the crap out of the tile. And well, we were already at that point. So I'm like, no big deal, I can get it done fast. And I do. My dad finishes a wall, I start cleaning it, I finish it in like 15-20 minutes. Just wiping it down. Making sure I leave no grout residue behind. Of course, there's going to be a little bit of dust, but you can just get a wet rag and blip, 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 clean that off. And then he moves to the shower that's in the second section of the second story building. And this is where I start to get a little ticked off. Because he moves into the restroom and he starts moving slower. And I'm like, why are we going slow? Like, What are we doing? And mind you, the shower isn't big at all. It can only fit him and a bench so he can get the top part of the shower. So I'm like, all right, he'll do this fast enough to where I can get in and get out. And he runs out of grout, so I'm like, perfect timing. Let me go in there, and I clean over half of it off, but I can't get all of it before he's all like, all right, I need to get in here again. And so I'm like, in my head, I'm just all, let me just clean up what I can like clean up. You know what I mean? And he's like, I gotta get in there. I need to finish. You can finish cleaning it after. And I was like, okay, word. And by the time he's done, which it really did kind of annoy me how long it took him to do the last little bit, but whatever. Job's done. Well, not really, but I get back in there and I see that the section that I wanted to finish before I got kicked out again had all just like completely dried. And so I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm sitting there and I'm fucking getting in there. I'm fucking scrub dub. I love to rub full force just trying to get this stuff off. And it's coming off. That's not the problem. The problem is the section he had just done that was drying too. And it was hot in that shower. It was super hot in that shower. So, you know, heat and drying kind of go hand in hand together. So I was all like, oh my gosh. By the time I'm done with this, the top part is going to be the same exact way. So I get to scrub a dubbing, and I get to a part. I get to like my last two walls, and I'm like, man, this is hard. And I start getting hot. Like I'm like starting to sweat through my shirt, and I'm like, ugh. And I feel like my arms are getting weaker. Like I can't put as much pressure as I was able to whenever I first started cleaning the grout. So I'm like, all right, well, this is fine. Let me just force myself to do this. Bad idea. Very bad idea. I'm hot and I'm dehydrated. And I knew I was dehydrated because I could barely sweat, which is crazy for someone like me because I sweat a lot. So it's starting to get to me, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, it felt like I was scrubbing really hard and nothing was happening. Turns out I was barely scrubbing because I was just losing, what's it called? I was using power. I can't handle heat at all 2 seconds in and I'm already sweating. Usually I'm okay with heat. Like I like my room a little warmer than your average human. You know what I mean? But again, not having water in my system, not being able to sweat kind of killed me. So I'm like, all right, let's get this done. And then let's go get waters. Because we carry waters with us. But it's just getting harder and harder because, like I said, I'm not able to put as much pressure as I was to scrub the tile. And it's making me go slower and it's making me get more frustrated. And then I have one more wall to go to completely finish. And I see that it's all like dried up around the crack on the tiles. And I was like, what the freak? And I look down and my dad is doing the entire floor, like grouting the entire floor. And mind you, he's waiting on me to clean this. So that makes me even more upset, because in the back of my head, I'm like, it's hot as fuck up here. That's gonna dry so fast, and I'm not done with the shower yet. And I was just like, all right, I really need to get after it now. So we have this scrub tool that you can just really fucking get in there. It's literally, just think of it's wire brush. It's wire brush. It's all it is. But it's safe for tile. It doesn't chip it. It's like plastic, not metal. It's a wire brush. And so I'm using that now. And that makes it go faster, but I'm having to use both of my hands to apply pressure to get rid of this grout. And I finally get it done. I run downstairs to the truck to go grab a water, and then all the waters are hot. But I'm like, fuck it, I need a water. So I drink the hot water. I tank that shit for real. And then I run back upstairs. And then I go to wipe off the first room, or the first section of the upstairs. And it's just literally with the first wipe, I knew, I was all like, yeah, no. By the time we get to the end, it's going to be hard as a rock. And then the only thing going through my head was, why didn't he let me grout it? Or why didn't he grout one section, clean the section, then go to the next section? Because everything I thought of came true. And we spent like 3 hours just trying to get the grout off. Mind you, we didn't get it all off. And we left early because I felt like shit. So let's continue to where I was. And I realized that, like, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I need to hurry up, basically. And I'm starting to like overwork myself. I overworked myself in the shower because it was so hot. I was dehydrated. But now I'm overworking myself because I'm like, if I don't do this now, my dad's 100% gonna yell at me. Because that's kind of how my dad is. And he'll be like, I knew the whole conversation in my head. He was like, you have to go faster. But this time I was like, if he says that, I'm gonna be like, you don't know how to grout. Because the times that every time the floor has dried, or the grout has dried on the floor, he has grouted. But I'm just sitting there, I'm scrubbing, two-handed scrub on the floor, on my knees, Cinderella style, scrubbing these floors, just trying to get it done. I'm like, let's go. Because I drink that water, I'm sweating a lot more now. And halfway through the first section, my head is just killing me. Excuse me, my head is just killing me. And I'm like, oh, I'm probably just hot. Like, let's go through it. And then my stomach just starts hurting. And I'm like, why does my stomach hurt? And I remember after I took a small break, and then it all just hit me. And my break was literally just, I sat up on my knees to catch my breath, and then this tidal wave of exhaustion just ran through my body, and I felt sick. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like my hands were tingling, my head hurt, my stomach hurt. And then I was like, why do I feel like this? And then it clicked. Oh my gosh, I literally haven't eaten in a day. Before I ate today, the last time I had ate was at 3 yesterday. 3 p.m. yesterday. I went to I went to bed hungry. And I told myself, let me wake up a little early so I can make breakfast, just so I can eat something. But I slept through my alarm and I woke up and I was like, all right, I gotta go. Completely forgetting that I just had an 8. So I just start feeling weaker and weaker and weaker. And at times my head starts like, I start feeling like everything's spinning. And I'm like, finish this room. And I finish one tile. Mind you, the tile is 24 inches long, 2 feet long. And it's 1 foot wide. They're not terribly big. And under normal circumstances, I can knock this out pretty quick. But I was drained, I was dead. I couldn't put pressure on the floor. Anytime I finished like one tile, I had to like sit up and catch my breath because I was just so exhausted. And I finished my one section of the room and I'm like, all right, finish this one section, go get a water. And I get the water. But as I'm walking down the stairs in this house, I'm like, oh my God. Like, I genuinely feel so weak. Like, it's difficult for me to lift up my own legs. That's how weak I was feeling. And my stomach it felt like my stomach was eating itself. And I go outside, I get the water's hot. It's so gross to me at that point that I don't even want to drink it. But the dude who we're doing the tile for has a mini fridge. So I stick my water in there. And then where I am, I was in the kitchen of the dude and my dad had just finished it and grabbed it. So I was like, this still looks pretty wet. Let me just try to clean this. And it was a very easy clean, but it took me like 45 minutes and it wasn't big at all. But the only thing going through my head was finish this. And I finish it. And then I sit down. And I think that's where I messed up. But honestly, maybe I didn't, because I probably would have fucking busted my head if I'd passed out. But I sit down and then I just lose feeling in my feet. And so I'm just chilling there. I'm like, all right, how do I connect my mind with my feet? And it felt so weird. Like there was this tingling in my body and I didn't like it. So then I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on? So then I'm like, I need to finish the upstairs part. But I'm so weak that I just cannot get up. So I sit there and I put on a little YouTube video to try to not think about it, but it's just not working. And then I see my dad walk down the stairs and he's like, what are you doing? We got to get this done. And I'm just sitting there like, all right. And he goes back upstairs and then I try my fucking hardest to stand up. And it's literally felt like I had 300 pounds on my back and I just could not get up. But I get up regardless. And I'm just dragging my feet. I fill up my water bucket, and it's like the heaviest thing in the world. Mind you, it wasn't even halfway full. It was a 5-gallon bucket, wasn't even halfway full. I get my sponge, I go back up there, and it's a fucking adventure. It's a challenge to just walk up the stairs. But I get there, and I start wiping, and after wiping for 5 seconds, I was just drained. I couldn't put any pressure without it hurting, and I was like, oh my god. And I stood up, and I shit you not, I got so dizzy. I was like, yeah, no, I need to get off these steps so I don't fall off and break my head open. Because there's no railing. Well, there is a railing, but the railing, there's only one railing on the left side of the steps, so the right side is just completely open, which is, fun. So I'm like, I need to get down. And this dude has chairs set up in his house, whatever the fuck it is. And I just sit there and I put my head back. And I'm like, all right, we're good. And I'm guessing my dad saw that. And he was just like, all right, let's get out of here. And my dad's washing the buckets and stuff. And I'm just chilling in the truck. And I feel like shit. I feel horrible. And I'm like in and out of sleep. And bro comes in and he's like, what's wrong? And I'm just all like, I haven't ate. And he's talking about, well, I haven't either. Like, all right, bro. All right, bro. My bad. My fault, gang, I guess. That's on me. But I was just annoyed by the whole situation. And the only thing going through my head was that could have been avoided. All of that. But hey, you live and you learn. And the job gets finished nonetheless. But let's get into something. Let's watch these funny moments at Blast.
How we doing? We feeling good? That was a crazy fast first series, so you know we gotta bring some more action for you. And Rotterdam, I have a very special treat for everyone here in the Ahoy Arena.
Fetty Wap dropped a new song today. It's Peak. Wasn't Fetty Wap in jail? Should we listen to it? Let's listen to it. Let's listen to it. I'm guessing it's this one. This is just the new album then. When did this album come out? It's called White Flower. Are you sure it's not White Roses? That's what I wrote. Let's see what he's talking about. Pause. Like the French tips that's painted on the tip of your toes. Fetty Wap, I didn't move. I didn't know you moved like that, my boy. I might have to give him a listen, my boy. Ooh. I didn't know he moved like that. I didn't know he moved like that, chat. I'm definitely gonna listen to the rest of the album. This is a really catchy song. Hmm. Okay. That was a banger of a song. I'm not even gonna lie. Also, it's funny because I've been seeing people post about his album recently. Even Betta posted on her story about this album. Hold on, I can show you what she said. Not what she said, but am I gonna be exposing Betta's not Instagram? What's it called? Okay, she just posted a picture of it. Favorite girl is what she posted a pic of. Oh, let's get back into the video.
Got no clue, bro.
You see, guys? This is your fucking boss!
Galil.
Yeah, that helps it make more sense, I guess. I don't know, they're just excited to win.
What the hell?
They needed to try something a little bit different, and I really love the fact that they go for
Chat, we don't hate Apex enough. Let me tell you that much. We don't hate that guy enough. He deserves more hate.
News at their first pick in this series, mainly because we haven't seen Vitality. We haven't seen. We'll just react to this one right here. If there's any question about what I feel about Vitality, you have it on your pictures right there. Just a small context. Apex was the one calling me out first, and it's just friendly banter.
Yeah, definitely Fred.
What did he do? It's just the trend to hate him. I don't hate Apex personally. But he's a very, as you can tell by the clip, he's a very energetic, passionate person. But if I did need to have a reason to hate him, it's also because he's French. But he's a really good player, pretty good IGL caller. You know, he won 2 majors back to back. Personally, I have nothing against him. But, you know, all at Counter-Strike hates him. It just is what it is, you know what I mean? Facts hate the French, that's what I'm talking about. Besides Lunier? Yeah. I see that.
Definitely Fred.
But the whole thing about picking up Anubis as the first one, I really love that. The fact
We'll see. Yeah, no helmet for sure.
Ooh,
Here's that
cello.
Yeah, he has no
Alright,
idea.
And then he killed himself.
Just could. Alright.
Really, really unlucky.
Come on.
Wow.
He was low HP.
Right, last round the op did
How
get
did this
back.
happen? It was Cobra Zera keeping an eye on Squeaky. Now Jimmy's out.
Cobra dropped lower. Just
Oh,
my
my.
God.
Not one of these situations.
Hello? Hey there, neighbor.
They're not looking. Okay.
What the hell?
The replay.
Check this out.
Grenade in hand, taken down. Oh, yeah. He was dead either way, but
Yeah, he was.
it's still a lot of fun.
Change their mind. This is
Lads.
added to the
Yep.
list.
Oh.
It's been a long time since you've seen Vitality
One.
lose a round like this.
They actually did just take too much time to get the bomb.
Hmm.
That, honestly, I love it. This is what I want to see because they were playing for frags, and I actually like that energy.
What's crazy is that's considered a save, and they all just have no money.
Because he landed on the stairs, it was like a little faster. I'm the man.
Blitz with the slow burn and Zontix.
I will say I don't like Donk. Now this is personal. But it's also because Donk is ugly.
Nice. Oh! Oh no!
What are you watching, actually, though?
And a
Wait,
missed
what was
off
he-
shot from Shiro. Just trying to. Oh, Alexi. Of all the guys.
That'll hurt, you know.
Of all the guys.
Could have landed.
I don't want to take anything away, but I do feel like. Speaking of dancing.
By the club over there.
Yeah.
And they do fall back a little bit.
What the
further
freak?
now. Clock is running low.
Were the
now.
Mongols coaching out there?
MPL with the Deagle looking on top of the box. He'll find one in the open. Oh, he misses the shot.
Oh,
He was right
Nico.
there taking, but the bullet it whizzed right past Imma's head. And now instead they come
Oh,
back for revenge.
Nico.
That is devastating.
Oh, that's not
This is
Nico, that's
nuts.
MPL.
And there
Oh
is a
shit, my
smoke as
fault.
Well, importantly,
Oh, bit.
nice kill onto Bit. Essential doing great work again. This flick not connecting, and it's all on the back of Wonderful. Now the grenades are starting to land, and they're putting the pressure on. He doesn't care. He's no scope one, but then once again defusing right in front of Na'Vi. The blade.
Oh my gosh, what a ninja.
Devastating right in your face defuse.
They knife him back as well. That's so unfortunate. If he has the AK there, it's job done. Spray
Wait,
him
am I
down,
crazy?
Back in.
Another.
Wonderful looks like Hold up. Wonderful looks like an off-brand device. Like, y'all see that, right? That's what the freak? Okay, back to the video.
Devastating right in your face, Defuse.
They knife him back as well. That's so unfortunate. He has the AK there. It's job done. Spray him down. The AWP in those 5 seconds. Blink and you miss it, Anders. You miss one orb shot. You put out the Glock. You're panicking, trying to swing in the smoke. And it comes down to milliseconds. Again, great effort there from Wonderful, but you can see the bomb was already gone. Even if he got a slash off, I don't think he wins it. He does get knifed in response as well.
He is the
That's wild.
He's got the Molotov as well. This is very dangerous.
Game time.
He this up with timing. Good flick, and now back in the corner.
Legged him?
He's gonna get one more
Wisdom?
shot. It's a leg shot. How did he survive?
What the
Brought
hell?
back to life. Blowing each other up. Not ideal. You can see on his screen as well. He knows his teammates there.
Impressed that he was sticking around for that kill, even on the catwalk to begin with. That was not an easy fight to win, but yeah, great work. Nobody's thinking about it.
Good stuff there. I think for both teams, pretty successful from Liquid. You lost that first kill. Ultimate goes down early. You get the bomb planted. Comes down to a 1v1 essentially there as well. As we do see a Donk close things down. Took out his teammate. Get the hell out of my way. I've got T's to find. And the defuse confirmed, but
Denied thanks to his view model, and then Brolin's gonna have to try to dive this bomb site instead, but never gets out of the rafters. The Mongols to double digits first.
They might win a map.
They have no idea, I think, that he's in. Oh, maybe they do.
what is going on?
I don't think anybody
Chat.
knows anymore. A knife has come out.
What the fuck was that?
Stab Max in the middle of the madness.
What the hell?
I'm still a bit of a critic of the way that the mid fights get super messy and, you know, a bit random at times. Like, I don't,
It is
and it's a
messy.
shame because I loved Ancient, and then it's like,
Chat, did you know that there's going to be a Counter-Strike event in Fort Worth? And I'm thinking about going to it. I'm thinking about it. I got to see how much. I might not go to it. I'm going to 3 concerts very soon. So I don't think financially it would make sense unless we get a lot of work, which we have been working a lot. So maybe I'll go to it. Maybe I'll go to it. Speaking of the concerts that I'm going to, I'm going to go see Joji. I'm going to go see ASAP Rocky. And then I'm going to go see Mon Laferte. And the ASAP Rocky one was kind of thrown at me by Miss Girl because she told me, she was like, oh, I'm going to buy tickets to go see ASAP Rocky. And I was like, tickets? You're going to buy tickets? And she was like, yeah, I'm going to buy 2 tickets. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because usually she goes to concerts with her sister. So I was like, oh, that sounds nice, you know? So I was thinking, I was like, her and her sister are going to have a great time. Never listened to any ASAP Rocky songs. Actually, that's not true. I listened to Sundress and I listened to the When It Rains It Pours song. So I did do that. But those are pretty much the only 2 songs that I listened to. And then I see on Instagram, she types this little message into her little message bubble, and she's like, anybody trying to go to the ASAP Rocky show? And I'm like, what the freak? Why doesn't? I thought she was going with her sister. I thought that's why she bought 2 tickets. And then come to find out, she asks me, and she was like, originally I was gonna ask you, but I didn't think you would want to go. And I'm like, why the fuck wouldn't I want to go somewhere with my girlfriend? And she just said she was scared to ask me. And I was all like, I guess? I guess? But yeah, that was kind of thrown on me. So I'm going to go see ASAP Rocky. And I'm probably not going to listen to his music. I probably should, but I'm probably not going to. Also, Magix looks like one of my 6th grade science teachers that I'm pretty sure was a lesbian.
To spoil it a little bit. Still,
I like
on
them.
Ancient.
I like that. I'm super in agreement that it's looking random. It's kind of like how old school like CS:GO train the outside fights. Like it was awesome when.
Yeah. Yes,
But,
Magix is the man.
Here, finding one for the road as it's double-digit Spirit in 10 rounds of play.
It's funny because the map is.
Bro, I
so
love
tactical
the
and hard to
zoom
get
in.
map control on, but still comes down to the individuals, especially your CTA individuals, and
The zoom in is beautiful. Spielplatz.
Spielplatz. For Kinder unter... No, I can't do the whole thing.
that was pretty good though so far.
It's numbers, because I can pretend to say a word, but
Just do it. Say 12 in German. Just try it.
Okten, Fangstill, Schmack, Kordend und Ziel, können schnell sogar verwirren. Immer wieder kommt für so schlimmen und fallen, wenn Kinder beim Spielen hängen bleiben.
So you might say you Kinder and Fallen on there.
I know for a fact Okten is warning.
What the fuck? Would have thought that guy was German.
Knife has come out from Cobra Sierra. He needs this clutch here on the Aurora side. Oh,
What are we doing?
Fangs deep in Wakadia, and he will win the round.
Everybody was ready as he stands on top of that van to try to trade out. It is nobody beyond.
I forgot
question on
Sway
the
got
8th
traded to
round for
Paravision.
CT side.
That's another half by lost. Another round lost for the Falcons and 1080
Bro.
That's got to be one of his worst starts.
And I unfortunately say that's kind of another example that we're getting right here, where he's always able to deliver. He's always able to pick his spots, and he oftentimes even kind of chooses to, in his own moments, to be aggressive. And I would say that in contrast to someone like Exertion, who doesn't know when to stop, Spinks does. He reels himself in. He well, not with a.
Oh my god. Eric, should I go to school Thursday? It's prom day and no one's gonna be there. What? 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 Why wouldn't people go to school even if there's prom? I thought prom was an after school thing. Are you going to prom? How does prom work? My prom was after school, like way after school. Oh well.
but in other moments, in game.
They've saved one AK-47, but it's going to be
Wait,
pistols.
are you saying prom is during school? What? Wait, when is prom? Why wouldn't you go? They're probably getting wasted the whole day. No, it's after, so why wouldn't you go to school? Also, prom is a thing you should experience. I feel like everybody should go to their high school prom, even if they don't want to. Because no one's gonna be there. Well, I don't know. Crayons, you do you, man. I think you do you, man. You do you. Personally, I had perfect attendance. But you know, you do you, man. I'm just watching Counter Strike.
And surely
Why was bro shivering? What the
they've got to
fuck?
tie things up. Like I said, taking his time in that final kill. Oh, that's why your mouse won't not be working, my friend. You just smashed it to pieces. Yep.
Yeah. I'm no.
Wasn't there a poly market graph as to whether a player would break something at the tournament?
He switched off the op on Inferno right away. Just started playing without it. A little salt in the wound to bring the game within 1. But Makaze could have sped up that flank if he wanted to.
Bro, I love One.
Into the round for the Falcons, but Paravision, they just put this stranglehold on you.
It just really shines through that the James system is just in full effect, right?
Bro's got aura looking
That's
by
what I
the
mean,
way.
like,
How
the
we know
code
he's
is
looking
good.
at?
Good
He's
code.
staring to your soul.
Good mid-kill. Nico fighting on the edge of that smoke. He's got himself his first.
They didn't stick it just yet.
He's looking for another one. Tessex, 5 seconds from the defuse. Knife out to deny it. Sorry, Tessex. Slashed down by Beltranok. Double digits.
I'm only missing one day.
But they put themselves
When do
in
you
that
get out of
spot to,
school,
you know,
Crayons?
need to get the kills.
Working with less health, but still able to catch 2, but Bits allowed them to go by. Oh, and it catches him when he whiffs it. Oh,
Bits.
it's already gone past him. Mistakes are being made.
Also 4v5 right now. Okay, go, you were trolling for zero, Brazan, I didn't see proper duel.
Nico's washed. No wonder G2 got rid of him. They banned everything. Okay. $1,000 Sydney apartment. Okay. Sketch guesses the person. Okay. Terraria, but we can wear unlimited accessories. Okay. $100 Walmart versus Bass Pro Shops budget fishing challenge. Okay. Karjaweski and Simon earned historic first badminton medal for USA in gold medal match. Am I allowed to watch this? Because I would be so down to watch this. Chad, y'all be watching hoof cleaning? I'll be watching hoof cleaning. DIY paver patio plus pergola build. Pergola's gross. Testing Cillian Murphy's music knowledge. Trackstar. Restoring the steam hammer. How I stopped binging food. That's really awesome, bro. I don't care. Bosnia versus Herzegovina. Bosnia and Herzegovina versus Italy. That's not fair. That's 2 countries going up against Italy. They got twice as many powers. Malcolm Todd wakes up before noon to play a set at our office. Okay. There are so many things that I watch that I'm afraid I can't watch. Also, Crowns, what's leap testing? When an actor is still discovering his range. John Cena?
I like that statement because I think the talent is doing it all.
Why does the audio sound like shit? I hope it's not on. I hope it's just my end. I hope it's not y'all's end.
Quit your bitching, you sloppy punk.
Hey there.
It's like a
How's it
big
going?
test you take
You
on
see the
all the
title?
stuff
So
you
there's
learned
not
that
too
year.
much preamble needed with this one.
It's like
John Cena spent nearly 10
star
years
testing.
proving he could do one thing extraordinarily well. Then, somewhere between Sisters and now, he stopped asking permission to do anything else. This video examines what happens when an actor finally breaks free from the typecast that made him famous, and how that process of discovery, messy, sometimes uneven, but genuinely committed, reveals a performer with far more depth than anyone expected. This is a new series I thought I'd try out since some of you might be looking for some fresh but familiar faces, who if you see their name attached to a script, you know it's probably going to be pretty good. So if you like it, please let me know
Yeah,
in
it
the
probably
comments
is.
down
Star
below.
testing, we
Let's
just have a
begin.
different name for it.
Colonel, I'm a Marine.
The Marine follows John Triton, a U.S. Marine discharged from active duty who returns home to his wife and attempts to reintegrate into civilian life. The narrative is structured as a straightforward action thriller. Triton witnesses a carjacking, intervenes, and becomes the target of a criminal organization seeking revenge. This escalates into a full-scale pursuit across the landscape.
Personally, if I see people with guns, I'm minding my business. That's it. That's my clip.
The film doesn't concern itself with psychological complexity or moral ambiguity. It's built entirely around the question of whether Triton can protect his family using the skills and instincts that made him effective in combat. The plot is functional, and the stakes are clear. Cena...
Wait, but why did he get discharged? Too much sex. John Cena, you son of a bitch.
plays John Triton with a particular kind of straightforwardness that matches the film's lack of pretension. He's not complicated, he's not particularly introspective. He's a man trained to respond to threats with decisive action, and the film asks him to do exactly that. Cena commits to the physicality required. He's built like a weapon, and he fights as if Chase Davenport is using the Triton app on him the whole time. His dialogue delivery is direct and functional. He speaks in short sentences. He doesn't waste words on exposition or emotional processing. What's notable about the performance is that Cena doesn't try to elevate the material. He doesn't reach for depth or nuance that the script doesn't provide. He grounds Triton in a kind of working class.
Why are they just cutting
He's
to a
already at
place
much better
where no
starting
one
point
is
by
there?
not being horrendously bad at conveying lack of emotion.
Man.
And you already know who I'm talking about. I'm specifically talking about The Rundown. And looking at these films side by side, I'd say it's a fair comparison since earlier roles typically don't demand much psychological unraveling. John is a man whose entire identity is built around being useful in crisis, and Cena plays that with a quiet confidence. A cheesy bratha smirk, if you will. 326 was kind of trash, by the way, but I digress. When violence erupts, John's response
Alright,
is
random
when he speaks to his
cut.
wife, there is genuine affection beneath the surface action hero exterior. Cena understands that Triton doesn't need to be complex to be functional, and he never overemphasizes his core traits. The Marine is important primarily as a baseline. It's Cena playing exactly what people expected him to play at that point in his career. A physically imposing action hero with limited range beyond the physical. He's a serviceable lead in a serviceable action film.
Do I need
and
to
that's
watch
enough.
the film
Cena's
to
Triton
know
is a
why he
basic
got
but honest
discharged, or
embodiment
can I
of the
Google
grounded
it?
utilitarian soldier archetype, and The Rundown is like if you let The Rock tell you that in Chinese.
Listening to Cal tell me that you two wrestle, that you talk, and I'm thinking, I want that. I want my son back.
Legendary follows a much smaller story. The film centers on Cal
Bro, old
Chetley, a
WWE
quiet
was
high school
fucking
student
the
who
best.
joins the wrestling team while dealing with the emotional fallout of his family falling apart. His older brother Mike, played by John Cena, has been in prison for years after a violent incident tied to the death of their father. When Mike returns home, the story shifts into a familiar sports drama structure. A younger brother searching for confidence and an older brother trying to rebuild his life while guiding him through it. There are no criminal
Oh, is that the guy
syndicates
from
or
Sweet Life? Is that
cross-country
Cody?
chases here. Just family tension, guilt, and a wrestling season acting as the framework for reconciliation. Cena's role works because he approaches Mike with restraint instead of
Thought
the
it was
blunt force action
reconciliation.
hero energy people expected from him. Physically, he still looks like a tank, but the performance is deliberately more stoic. Mike carries the posture of someone who knows
was for
he messed up
disobeying
and doesn't
direct
really
orders?
have the language to explain it. Cena
lame.
keeps his dialogue simple and low-key.
I think
speaking in
my
short,
my
careful
reason was
sentences
better.
like
He
someone
was just
constantly
fucking too
measuring
hard.
what he says. The film leans on his physical presence as credibility. This is clearly the older brother who could protect you in a fight. But the interesting part is that he spends most of the runtime trying not to be that guy anymore. He's patient with Cal, encouraging without being overly sentimental, and the mentorship angle becomes the emotional backbone of the movie. Cena doesn't try to oversell the drama. Mike is essentially a big brother just trying to make up for lost time. Cena plays him exactly at that level. The seriousness in his delivery feels grounded, and it gives the film
I feel
a
like
bit
I've
more
seen this
sincerity
movie
than you might
before.
expect from a WWE sports story. The Marine was Cena leaning fully into the unstoppable action archetype. Legendary is the early glimpse of him dialing things back and letting presence do the work.
Miles Jackson, we heard he tried to contact.
Yeah. Guy breaks out of prison, FBI knows about it, nobody tells me.
We understand that you're
12 Rounds is as a real-time action thriller where a New Orleans
12
detective
rounds.
named Danny Fisher is forced to participate in a series of increasingly dangerous
I
challenges
ain't never heard of this
orchestrated by
movie
a
before.
criminal mastermind seeking revenge. The film is built entirely around escalation and ticking clocks. Each round presents a new puzzle, a new threat, a new reason for Danny to be a horse chasing a carrot dangling over their head, or whatever the saying is. The narrative moves from crisis to crisis, each one designed to test Danny's ability to think under pressure.
Crayons,
while
do you
racing
think you
against
could
impossible
survive a
deadlines.
car
The plot is a
exploding?
vehicle for action sequence and puzzle-solving set pieces. There's no thematic depth or emotional resonance. The film exists to watch its protagonists react to external threat. Cena plays Danny Fisher with a particular kind of focused intensity that mirrors the film's relentless pacing. He's present in every scene,
Well.
constantly responding, constantly thinking. Cena brings a certain kinetic energy to the role. His face registers calculation. His voice carries urgency without panic. What's interesting about the performance is how Cena begins to layer emotional stakes beneath the action. Cena occasionally allows vulnerability to surface, moments where Danny questions whether he can actually succeed,
know-
whether he's capable of what's being demanded of.
There was a point in time where I was so big into movies that I would be just so hypercritical of everything that was happening. And I could understand like why a director did a certain thing. And now I just went back to movie. Like I would literally question everything. From camera tilt, shakes, colors, all that stuff. It was crazy. But now I forgot all of it.
him. These moments are brief and quickly subsumed by action, but they suggest an actor beginning to understand that even within genre constraints, emotional authenticity matters. 12 Rounds is a transitional role. It's not as introspective as Legendary, but it's more intelligent than The Marine. Cena is learning to modulate his performance within the confines of straightforward action cinema. He's beginning to
So why
understand
is
that
it called
presence
12
doesn't require
rounds?
vulnerability, but that vulnerability within presence makes presence matter. All right, no more WWE movies from this point onward. I promise, okay?
Birth control, I got Plan B. I got that morphine from China. They took off the market. Shit to make your dick hard, shit to make your dick soft. Shit.
Sisters is structured as a crude comedy centered on
the
two
fuck?
adult women, Maura and Kate, who return to their childhood home for a weekend and decide to throw one final party before their parents sell the house. The narrative is built around the collision between the characters' desire to recapture youth and the reality of adulthood. The plot is deliberately thin, like, don't actually watch this movie. It's an excuse to document the sisters' various misadventures, their interactions with old friends, and their gradual confrontation with the fact that they can't actually
Ain't this the lady from Parks and Rec?
return
Can somebody do a range video on her? Because I only know her from Parks and Rec.
to who they were. The film moves from party preparation through escalating chaos to a kind of melancholic acceptance that growing up means leaving things behind. Cena plays Pazuzu, a drug dealer and party fixture.
Holy shit. Chat. How many followers? No, what goal should we do for me to get that neck tattoo? How many followers for me to get that neck tattoo? Fake neck tattoo. It's gonna be fake. I'm not getting that on my real body. 500 followers and I get the neck tattoo? Like, I get to 500 followers or I get 500 followers? Get to 500? Okay. That's pretty easy. But alright. When I reach 500 followers, I'll get that neck tattoo.
in what amounts to a comedic supporting role. But what's notable about the performance is how completely Cena commits to playing against type. Pazuzu is slight, nervous, and fundamentally non-threatening despite his profession. He deliberately underplays. He's playing someone inherently comedic. Sisters is crucial because it shows Cena discovering that his greatest asset as an actor isn't his body, but his willingness to subvert expectations. Let's see what's next. He's pretty good in Trainwreck, or at least I've heard. I'm not watching an Amy Schumer movie, bro. I'm sorry. We'll have to go with the next best thing.
They call him the Polka Dot Man.
Polka Dot Man. What does he do? Throw polka dots at people? He does.
The Suicide Squad reframes the DC Comics team as a darkly comedic ensemble where expendable anti-heroes are forced to work together on a suicide.
Can I just say I hated the real Suicide Squad movie? It was a really bad movie. Is that Idris Elba?
Mission. And we all know how they came to be called the Suicide Squad because the film does an amazing job of carefully weaving it into the storyline. John Cena's Peacemaker is introduced as a delusional, brutally effective mercenary obsessed with achieving peace through violence. The character is structurally absurd, a man whose ideology is fundamentally contradictory, who kills indiscriminately while claiming to serve a greater good. The film uses Peacemaker as both comedic relief and genuine threat. He's dangerous and ridiculous simultaneously. The narrative culminates in Peacemaker being exposed as fundamentally empty, someone whose entire identity is performance masking profound inadequacy. The subsequent HBO Max series, Peacemaker, deepens this exploration exponentially. The show is structured as a psychological case study disguised as a comedy action series. It documents Peacemaker's childhood trauma, his relationship with his abusive father, his desperate need for validation, and his complete inability to process emotion in any healthy way. The narrative spans an entire season of character deterioration and reluctant self-awareness. By the series' end, Peacemaker hasn't become a better person. He's simply become aware of how broken he is, and that awareness changes nothing about his fundamental dysfunction. In the Suicide Squad, Cena plays Peacemaker as a kind of hollow aggression, all volume and physical presence with nothing substantive underneath. His delivery is loud and performative. He doesn't listen to other characters so much as wait for his turn to interrupt. Cena plays him as someone performing confidence, masculinity, and ideological certainty, and the performance makes clear that all of it is performance. But the HBO series reveals the depth that the film only hints at. In Peacemaker, Cena is required to do something he's never done before: disappear into genuine psychological damage. The character's trauma is coded through silence, through the moments where Peacemaker's aggressive exterior collapses and reveals the frightened child underneath. Cena plays these moments with startling vulnerability. His face...
I'm starting to think I should watch Peacemaker. I heard Peacemaker was really good. And I have HBO Max. So maybe I'll watch it. I'll watch it and I'll let y'all know.
registers pain that he spent the entire series bearing. His voice cracks when emotional armor falls away. What's remarkable about the evolution is how Cena modulates the same character across two very different narratives. In the Suicide Squad, he's comedic spectacle. In Peacemaker, he's tragic complexity. The show requires Cena to sit in scenes and do nothing but feel, and he does it with a precision that contradicts everything his physique suggests he should be capable of. He demonstrates that his greatest range exists in stillness, in the willingness to let cameras linger on his face while he processes emotion. The role requires him to be pathetic, vulnerable, desperate, and broken. All things that seem antithetical to his public persona, yet he commits to them completely. By the series' end, Peacemaker is one of the most complex characters Cena has played, and that complexity comes entirely from Cena's willingness to be emotionally honest about a character's damage.
That's your mistake. The spy game? This is my world.
F9 introduces Jacob Toretto, Dom's estranged brother, as the primary antagonist.
Bro, I forgot John Cena was in a Fast and Furious movie. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Jacob is a former government agent turned mercenary, hired to retrieve a MacGuffin that will alter the balance of power in the world. The narrative is structured around family betrayal and reconciliation. The film positions Jacob as someone driven by resentment and a need to prove his superiority to Dom. The plot escalates from personal vendetta into global conspiracy, but the emotional core remains the brother dynamic. Jacob serves as a mirror to Dom, another Toretto trained in combat and strategy, but one consumed by bitterness rather than redemption. Cena plays Jacob Toretto as a trained soldier, which should feel like a return to the Marine or 12 rounds. But the performance carries everything Cena has learned since then. Jacob isn't simply competent, he's intelligent, he's resentful, and psychologically wounded by his past. Cena communicates this through deliberate physical control. Jacob moves with precision because he's learned to weaponize every gesture. But there's also a brittleness underneath. When Jacob speaks about his past, about his father's rejection, Cena allows genuine hurt to surface beneath the professional soldier exterior. What distinguishes this performance from earlier action roles is the emotional subtext. Cena plays Jacob.
How
as
much
someone
would you pay to see
performing
John
strength while
Cena,
harboring
Dwayne
deep
Johnson, and
insecurity about whether
Vin
he's
Diesel
actually
to
strong
fight?
enough. His confrontations with Dom are all proving he matters, that his existence has weight, and he's not just in his shadow.
Probably like
Cena
50
layers this
bucks.
desperation beneath the action hero facade, making
I don't think
Jacob
I've ever
simultaneously
thought
threatening
about
and
that.
pitiful. When Jacob is defeated, Cena
I mean,
plays
Vin
it as
Diesel is-
confirmation of the inadequacy Jacob has always feared. The performance demonstrates
Vin
that
Diesel is
Cena's
only
evolution
Fast and
made him
Furious,
capable of
man.
playing warriors with psychological
The
depth.
Rock is
Cena
like
makes
an
Jacob a study
egotistical
in how
actor that
resentment
doesn't
works
really do much.
capability into
And John
cruelty.
Cena's chill. I don't think I would want them to fight.
Project I've been working on.
F10 brings back Jacob in a more complex capacity. The narrative is structured as Dom's final confrontation with Dante Reyes, a new antagonist seeking revenge.
Is that Jason
Jacob,
Momoa?
having survived his apparent death in F9.
Bro, how many... What did I miss? I stopped after Brian died. Or Paul Walker died. That was the last time I watched the Fast and Furious movie. What is going on in Fast and Furious? Bro, they just need to end Fast and Furious? What the freak? They go to space? Bro, this franchise is stupid.
Returns as an uneasy ally. Wait, did I just say he survived his apparent death? I mean, it's right here on my mid-film notes. I think I must have confused it with all the other dozen characters that die and come back in this godforsaken franchise. The plot uses him to explore whether redemption is possible and whether family bonds can transcend betrayal. Jacob's arc in this film is about agency. He's no longer simply reacting to rejection or attempting to prove superiority. He's making active choices about who he wants to be and where his loyalties lie. The narrative doesn't
car
fully
on
resolve
fire
this
was
tension,
them in
but it acknowledges
space?
the possibility of change. Cena's Jacob in F10 is noticeably different
That's
from his
so
F9
stupid.
incarnation. The performance still carries the soldier's physicality and tactical intelligence, but the emotional baseline has shifted. Jacob is a lot more chill, more observant, less desperate to prove something. He
Whatever
plays as someone
happened
who
to
has
this
spent time
movie, to
reflecting
these
on who
movies
he's
being
become and
about
what he actually
racing
wants. And
cars
that
and
reflection
hot
has altered
women?
his entire demeanor. Jacob remains dangerous, remains capable of violence, but now his choices feel considered rather than reactive. Cena layers restraint into the performance. Jacob could dominate scenes through sheer presence, but instead he often holds back, allows other characters space, demonstrates patience. The mini-evolution from F9 to F10 demonstrates how completely Cena has internalized the lessons of his dramatic work. Cena has taken the trained soldier archetype and revealed the internal complexity that always existed beneath it. Unfortunately, absolutely none of that changes how shit these movies are.
Well, I guess it's your welfare checks I've been paying.
Possibly.
Vacation Friends is
Possibly.
structured as a crude buddy comedy where two couples meet on vacation and form an unlikely friendship. The narrative is built around culture clash and the collision between different life philosophies. Cena plays Ron, a charismatic, irreverent guy who, along with his wife
This was a good
Tyler,
movie?
befriend a more uptight couple. The plot documents their escalating adventures together and the complications that arise when the vacation ends and real life intrudes. The film is deliberately comedic and low stakes. It's not concerned with character depth or thematic significance. It exists to document funny situations and physical
that King
comedy.
Batch?
Ron is loud, unfiltered, and completely comfortable with his own absurdity. Cena commits to this with a kind of joyful abandon. He does physical bits without self-consciousness. He delivers crude dialogue with genuine charm. He makes Ron likable despite, or because of, his complete disregard for social convention. His energy is infectious rather than dominating. Cena understands the mechanics of ensemble comedy well enough to lift other actors up while maintaining Ron's presence. Vacation Friends is important because it shows Cena completely comfortable in comedy. The performance demonstrates that his range includes the ability to be a supporting player in ensemble comedy without disappearing or undercutting the material. He's a collaborator now, not just a lead.
X-rated rock and roll impersonator.
That's not as crazy as it sounds. I mean, Most of the songs are just about.
And lastly, we've got Ricky Stanicky, my personal favorite. The story revolves around 3 childhood friends who invent a fake person, Ricky Stanicky, to use as a lifelong excuse for their bad behavior. Whenever they need to get out of trouble with their partners or responsibilities, Ricky takes the blame. The problem arrives when their families eventually demand to meet this mysterious friend, forcing them to hire a washed-up actor to bring the fictional man to life. That actor is Rod. And Rod is essentially a chaotic performer who normally works low-rent gigs doing exaggerated celebrity impressions. When he's hired to be Ricky Stanicky,
This
the
was a
lie
good
spirals
movie?
out of control because Rod commits to the role with far more enthusiasm than the people who created it. What begins as a simple cover story gradually evolves into a full fabricated personality, complete with fake trauma, inspirational speeches, and increasingly elaborate performances meant to sell the illusion. The comedy comes from the imbalance. Rod treats the role like a serious acting challenge while everyone else just wanted a quick excuse. This is where Cena's performance stands out compared to most of his earlier work. Rod requires physical comedy, improvisational energy,
What
and a
the
willingness to look
fuck?
ridiculous, all while keeping the character strangely sincere. Cena does all that and more. He exaggerates body language, commits to over-the-top stage routines, and delivers lines with the kind of confidence that makes the absurdity land. At the same time, he plays Rod with a genuine performer's pride. Rod isn't trying to scam anyone for malicious reasons. He's simply thrilled to finally have an audience that takes him seriously. This film pulls together the different things Cena has been gradually developing as an actor. The physical presence from his action roles is still there, but now it's used for comedic contrast. The deadpan delivery he showed in earlier comedies becomes timing. The quieter sincerity he experimented with in smaller dramatic parts helps ground
Bro, this movie
Rod.
looks dumb
Instead
as
of
fuck.
choosing one lane, Cena cycles through all of them depending on the scene. That's why Ricky Stanicky ends up feeling like the culmination of his acting toolkit.
What?
I think I'm just looking for more
What
excuses to
was
say
that?
Ricky Stanicky. It asks him to be ridiculous, confident, awkward, theatrical, and occasionally heartfelt. Earlier roles tended to isolate one of those traits at a time. Rod requires all of them working together. By the end of the film, for an actor who started his film career largely defined by physical presence, it's arguably his most complete performance so far. Rod works because Cena finally gets to deploy every tool he's been building toward in one role. John Cena spent the first phase of his career proving he could do one thing, be a physically imposing action hero. Then he spent the second phase proving he could do almost everything else. But what's remarkable about his evolution is that when he returns to those straightforward leading man roles, Jacob Toretto, Danny Fisher, even just playing a soldier in a thriller, the performance carries layers that weren't there before. He's discovered that range means understanding the depths that exist within art.
Bro, chat, you know what I haven't had in so fucking long? A fucking Snickers bar. Dude, that sounds so good right now. I'm about to go to the gas station just to get one. That sounds so fire. Oh my gosh. I low-key want that so bad right now. Call the Snicker bar Miss Girl the way I want it so bad. You know what I'm saying, chat? Oh my goodness.
Archetypes everyone assumed were shallow. A trained soldier can be psychologically wounded. An action hero can be vulnerable. A big guy can be genuinely funny without irony or subversion. Cena has learned to see beyond what his physicality suggests and deploy that physicality in service of complex, multifaceted characters. The Suicide Squad and Peacemaker were turning points, but they weren't the full picture. It's the work across everything. The quiet moments in Legendary, the willingness to be ridiculous in Sisters, the restraint in F10, the generosity in Vacation Friends, that reveals an actor still discovering what he's capable of. And unlike many actors who find their range and settle into it, Cena keeps pushing. He keeps testing himself. He keeps refusing to be confined by what people expect. That's a good actor in the process of becoming something a great one. And that process is far more interesting to watch than any destination could be.
In today's episode of Good Good Gone.
What the fuck? I did not start that. But anyways, boys, that's gonna be it for me tonight. I know we were supposed to play The Walking Dead today. I got it all downloaded, all set up. But like I said, I'm not feeling the best. And I don't want to play a decision-based game feeling not the best. So maybe it would have been for good content. Who knows? But I would want to give it my 100%. But With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this stream. If y'all did enjoy it, make sure I head on over to youtube.com/I'mMarried2. Hit that subscribe button. It'd be greatly appreciated. And y'all heard Crayons at 500 followers. I'll get that neck tattoo on me. So follow me on Twitch, please. And with that being said, all you beautiful people, y'all stay safe. Drink water. Good night, Crayons. See ya.